Peace, family. It's your brother, Marc Lamont Hill. Welcome to the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. It is so good to see everybody here tonight. It is a Sunday night here in Philadelphia. It's Roots Picnic weekend, but I came home. Didn't even get to see Lil Wayne's set. Why? Because I wanted to be here with y'all, because it's important that we handle the business that we have to handle. You all got to watch an important office hours with Ariana Mangual Figueroa, and now we move on to our War on Gaza report. Today, Israel's war on Gaza reaches day 240. That's right, day 240 of Israel's war on Gaza, and it continues to confound, continues to frustrate, it continues to exhaust, it continues to heartbreak. When we look at the continuation with global complicity, I might add, of an assault on the Gaza Strip that began on October 7th and really began on October 8th, that has not ceased or shown any sign or hope of ceasing. That's just where we are. That's just the truth. We begin the War on Gaza report tonight, as we always do, with the numbers. As of today, at least 36,439 Palestinians have been killed. 36,439 Palestinians have been killed. And those numbers are conservative. More than 8,000 people lay under the rubble, uncounted. So that means that we're very quickly approaching maybe 45,000 people in real life who have been killed. And on top of the people who have been killed, we also see 82,627 people wounded in Israel's war on the Gaza Strip since October 7th. And of course, the death toll in Israel from Hamas's attack is 1,139, with dozens more still held captive in Gaza. 4 people were killed today in the last 24 hours in an Israeli air attack on the Nuseirat refugee camp. In addition to the 4 people killed in the refugee camp, 6 women and children have been reported killed in an attack near in the Burej refugee camp in central Gaza. Burej is not far from Nuseirat refugee camp. So between the two, we're talking about 10 people killed, an extraordinary number of them women and children. The Israeli Defense Force has been relentless and unyielding, even as we talk about a ceasefire, even as we talk about peace. There remains a very clear focus on more bombings, more strikes, more troops, more tanks, and not just in Rafah, which has been kind of the global focus for the last couple weeks, which is in southern Gaza, but we also see in the central part, again in Burej, in Nuseirat, we're seeing more dead people. And the fact that in Burej we're looking at women and children who are dead is unsurprising, given the fact that 2/3 of the people killed in Palestine, in Gaza in particular, have been women and children. This has been framed as a war against Hamas, a war against this sort of extraordinary aggression that Hamas is offering, the extraordinary threat that they present, but it's women and children who are dying disproportionately. And that has to be taken into account. That has to be acknowledged. That has to be reminded of the people and to the people, precisely because of what it signifies. It signifies a lack of precision or a lack of commitment to precision, an indifference to the suffering of the vulnerable, an irresponsibility wielded against the unarmed. I mean, this is not a war, I'm using war in quotes, that needs to happen. We can talk about that more later, but let's keep going. We recently heard from Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant. Yoav Gallant, by the way, if you don't know, he's not just the defense minister, he is a war hawk. Benjamin Netanyahu, in some ways, is a moderate, as crazy as it sounds. Yoav Gallant, Itamar Ben-Gvir, these Smotrich, these are the right wingers, right? These are the like the John Boltons of Israel, right? When you hear the name Yoav Gallant, when you hear the name Itamar Ben-Gvir, you're talking about people who don't believe that Palestinians are human beings, people who don't even pretend to want peace. And for Netanyahu to become prime minister, he had to make concessions unlike any other prime minister in the history of Israel, because the Israeli prime minister isn't just voted for the way you vote for the United States president. You need to form coalitions, and it's the coalition that allows for the prime minister to be successful in his or her bid for the prime ministership. It is the formation of the Knesset, is the power of the voting bloc that allows you to win. And so for Netanyahu to win, first it was the unity government, right, with Benny Gantz, who's supposed to be the center Freedom Party moderate person in Netanyahu's cabinet. But then as time went on, it was really a far right wing, almost like a Faustian bargain that Netanyahu made in order to be elected prime minister. And so folk like Itamar Ben-Gvir, Bezalel Smotrich, Yoav Gallant, they have become the kind of power brokers that are so far to the right that Netanyahu damn near looks like a liberal standing next to them. It's scary business. It's scary business. But anyway, I'm going to give you that context for those that don't know. Yoav Gallant spoke out. He said, "We will not accept the rule of Hamas in Gaza at any stage." Sidetracking note also, Yoav Gallant is, along with Benjamin Netanyahu, facing an arrest warrant at the International Criminal Court, along with 3 leaders of Hamas for war crimes and crimes against humanity. And so Yoav Gallant's statement that we will not accept the rule of Hamas in Gaza at any stage means 2 things. It means that they're setting the stage for perpetual war, because their argument is going to be Hamas is always in control, and Hamas is always leading this thing, and so we have to fight until Hamas is gone. But the second piece of it is that Hamas is not able to be removed, right? Hamas is, one, it's too large and unwieldy of a political and military presence to just be destroyed. They're not going to keep fighting until they beat Hamas. That's crazy. And Hamas also is an untackleable cultural and social idea. Hamas is not just the ruling party of Gaza. They can be voted out, right? You can have another election and they can be voted out. But the idea of Hamas, the idea of national liberation, the idea of resistance has only intensified, and I'm talking about armed resistance, has only intensified since October 8th, with the disproportionate force that Israel has used in response to the October 7th attacks. All of it is just messy and intense. But Israel will always have a pretext. It will always have an excuse to keep fighting, to keep bombing, to keep killing. And they're going to frame it as, well, Hamas is a terrorist group, but we can't allow them to rule Gaza, because if they rule Gaza, then we're in perpetual danger ourselves. And so therefore, we'll fight until Hamas is gone, or we'll do a ceasefire, but only under the condition that Hamas is gone. And because that is an unattainable goal in the practical, immediate sense, they have the right to never accept any peace treaties. They have the right to not accept any ceasefire proposals, and they have a right to keep fighting in their own minds. Again, the international community says something different. International law says something different. Global diplomatic and legal bodies say don't do this, but they believe, and they have a great public relations argument with this, is that they're trying to kill us still, and so we got to keep defending ourselves. Also, in a similar vein, we also heard from Osama Hamdan. If you don't know Osama Hamdan, he is a spokesperson for Hamas. I've interviewed him before. You can check that out on the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. He says he welcomes a ceasefire proposal, and he says the proposal that President Biden has put forward was a positive one. Really, that proposal was an Israeli proposal, it was a Netanyahu proposal, but that's a whole other story for another time. But Hamas has basically said, look, this is a positive step forward, but we need it in writing. As I said last night on this, it is not clear that the U.S. or Israel is going to put this in writing. And so that's what Hamas wants. And it's not an unreasonable ask to say, hey, we've been burnt before, give it to us in writing. We'll see what happens. But this feels like more of a political game, where the U.S. and Israel don't really want to accept this proposal. Hamas is open to, but they also don't want to accept a proposal where the doctrine of permanent war is still in place. So both sides have some hesitation. Both sides have some arguments against. Both sides have some tremendous arguments for. We'll see what happens. And then lastly, rescuers find 50 bodies in the Jabalia refugee camp. 50 bodies have shown up just a few days after Israel finished a 3-week operation in the area. 50 more bodies. People keep saying this isn't ethnic cleansing, this isn't indiscriminate killing, this isn't this isn't that, but people keep dying and reasons keep becoming more and more scarce. So something's got to give. 50. And the problem is the numbers are so big, the numbers are so stark and jarring. Almost 36,000 people, almost 37,000 people been killed. So 50 doesn't even seem like a big number anymore, but it's a huge number. It's an awful number. It's an indefensible number. And so I'm encouraging everybody to stand up, to fight, to vote, to organize, to tell the truth in public in any way you can about this vicious war in Gaza. In the meantime, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button as well. We love when you hit the like button or the subscribe button, because it not only extends our reach, but it lets corporate media know that independent media outlets are here to stay, and that they got to change. That they got to change, because we can't keep doing the same things and expecting different results. And corporate mainstream media, cable media, etc., is expecting a different result from putting out the same old tired product. And so please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the join button. Joining means that you will become part of the Marc Lamont Hill official online community. You will be able to get special videos, early releases of things, extended times on content, everything, exclusive content on times, all of it you can have. Just hit the join button. For as little as $3.99 a month, you can support the channel. You can help build and grow the channel. You can help us become exactly who we want to be, exactly what we're supposed to be, which is a wide-reaching, incisive, critical, radical even, and honest space for political education, for cultural deep dives, for news updates as well. We can do all of it right here with your support. So please hit the join button right now. If you hit the join button, again, it helps us grow. It helps us develop the resources we need for more editors, for more producers, for more hosts, for more content. All in the service of the people. Again, I don't make $1 off of this. This is all coming out of my pocket, and I want to continue to do it. Just ask for your support. If you don't want to make a monthly commitment, you can go to our various electronic platforms and make a one-time payment. You can go to Cash App MLHTV, PayPal.me/TVMLH, Venmo MLHTV, or Zelle. You can go right to the email address. And when you do that, you again are making huge sacrifice, and the sacrifice is welcomed and appreciated and never underestimated. With the people online right now, everybody watching right now were to make a donation on any platform of just $5, we would be in a whole different stratosphere. If everybody just could do $5 or more, but if anybody could just do $5, we would be in a whole different stratosphere. So I encourage people to do that if you can, but if you can't, that's okay too. You know why? Because there's so many ways to support the work. You can spread the word. You can tell people about it. You can share videos. All of those things are incredibly helpful for getting us to where we think we should be, but definitely where we want to be, which is a space of self-maintenance, self-sustenance, where we can support ourselves, we can support the channel, we can continue to build and grow the channel without any worry or fear. That's the goal. That's what we want to be. That's what we're going to be. Now y'all know I'm always going. It ain't a day to end in Y if I don't hit that wrong button. I want to shout out. Yo, I'm the wackest. I am the worst, yo. I am the worst. I am the worst at this. Let me see. I'm gonna fix it. But I'm telling you. See, I done hit the wrong button twice now. This is literally why I need help. I am special, and I don't mean that in a good way. I am uniquely bad at hitting these buttons. But that said, I want to. Where is Princess? Princess is on a necessary weekend off, and I am here. She's out in the world doing something fun, I'm sure, what these young people do. But I need the help. This is a perfect example of it. But Robin Walker Murphy, thank you so much for your generous donation to the channel. I really appreciate it. Jazz LP, as always, thank you so much for your contribution. Beyond Ebony, always. Thank you so much for the generous donation. I'm so grateful, y'all. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for helping. We're building something here, and we're gonna keep building. In the meantime, I will see y'all later. Have a good night. I may come on for a live Q&A if that's what y'all want. You let me know. In the meantime, I'll close my eyes and I'll see y'all in a second. Peace.